Yeah, we've not done it actually, have we? But we've given ourselves a real good opportunity of playing against some really good teams, and we've got one this week, haven't we? But highly delighted with the performance over this last month or so. We've played some great stuff. We've done really, really well, not just winning games, but the way we've played has been obviously something that we're highly delighted about, and we've got an opportunity now of playing against Leeds Rhinos, which is for the town and for the club and for the people that are behind the club are so excited about. So we're chuffed to bits that we've done something really special.
Well, and I said we did it. I meant the royal we. Really, I mean, you and the boys have done it. Really, just tell us what What did you say to them after that defeat against Sheffield that let you go on that 4-match run? What was it that really galvanised you?
I think I think we're about 6 out of 8, aren't we? Something like that since Sheffield. And one of the key things that we try and do as a coaching staff and as a group of players really is have systems in place where if things aren't working, then we can address them. And there are a couple of things that we needed to go back to the drawing board with. I think emotionally, I think we looked a little bit bereft at times, and we've certainly not been like that ever since. Obviously, there's been some well-documented issues with regards to finances, and that affects people differently, including players. So, but we dusted ourselves down, had a long review, and looked at ourselves and looked at how we could play differently at times, and we certainly found a formula that's working really well for us at the minute.
I suspect if you could have picked the fixture list out of these 7, you'd have probably gone for those games at home. I'm not so sure, but starting up first up with the Leeds Rhinos, for part-time players, it must be, it's what dreams are made of, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see the players are arriving now for practice, and there's certainly a spring in the step. There's a couple of blokes in the gym getting ready. We've got one of our key players out in the field practicing his kicking, so there's certainly a spring in their step. I think there is as a coaching staff as well, because we're looking forward to playing against a great team and some really good players. So it's a big lift for us. It's been nice to have a weekend off and freshen up. The emotions of the last 4 weeks has been and can take its toll, but we had a weekend off and we worked hard during that week coming up to the weekend off, so we're nice and fresh, and people who've had niggles have come back and reported fit and healthy, so we're looking forward to having some good practices before the Saturday.
And John, I wouldn't expect you to say anything other than you can win this game, but just a few years ago these lads, some of these lads beat Castleford in the Cup. Alright, you might say Leeds are better than Castleford, but then a couple of weeks later they give Wigan a real good run for the money, who were top of the game. And with this being the first game up, you can almost treat it like a one-off cup game, can't you? Where do you think Rovers can make inroads into Leeds?
First of all, I think that it's a big occasion. I think it's a big occasion that the players need to embrace, really, and not be afraid of. I think it's a challenge that it's pitting wits against coaches and skills against players. And I think that the thing for us is that we don't get too embroiled in that. We've been very businesslike in the last 4 weeks. We've treated every game as it's trapdoor football and cup tie football. It's been well documented. We've had quarterfinals and semis and so on, and this is the start of a new competition for us. It's going to be a big challenge. It's going to be interesting to see where we stand as in regards to how we can handle this situation. I think it's important for us that we don't come away disappointed and we don't come away with a sour taste in our mouths because we didn't play as well as what we could do. So it's all our responsibilities to rock up and give it a really good shot and not worry or be too distracted by the occasion of the Sky cameras or even who we're playing against. It's very much about this is your job, get your job done.
The margins are fine, aren't they? Bradford are playing Whitehaven away this weekend. Featherstone Rovers are playing Leeds at home. It was a big crowd in here last week. It's sure to be a big crowd again on Sunday. How much of a difference is it to be playing against the teams that bring a lot of support, that brings the Featherstone support out? And it must be a lot different playing in a stadium which is full and loud.
Yeah, I think that these are days where I was brought in to try and create this and try and build a platform for the club to kick on. And it's just over 12 months into it, and we're coming up against Leeds Rhinos, and no one had ever imagined that that would be the case. So we're delighted for that. We're excited about playing in front of a full stadium. I think it's going to be full. I think the community of Featherstone have embraced it, and certainly did the last game against Bradford. I thought Bradford brought a fantastic following, and the Featherstone fans certainly matched them, and were very, very loud and were very supportive, and got right behind the team. Even before the game in warm-up, I just felt that there was something special about to happen, and we need the fans to get behind us again. You mentioned the Castleford and the Wigan games. I went to both games, and as referee's assessor, and I saw that day a tribal feel about the Featherstone fans, and it needs to be that this week. The fans need to get behind the team and the will like they have all year, and it needs to be tribal, and it needs to be a battle out on the field, and it needs to be an hostile environment. You know, not going beyond any means of, you know, respecting one another, as obviously as fans and groups of supporters is absolutely crucial. I think that's the first and foremost. But a good old sporting occasion, and like an old cup tie, I suppose.